Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I am Mia Larice, and here I teach you how to use astrology intentionally. Today, I want to talk about one of the basic planets in astrology. It's pretty much known by everyone, and that is the sun. The sun is literally what astrology revolves around. We understand everything in relation to the sun, and the sun can tell you where you base your ego. Wherever the sun is located within your chart, that's where your ego is based. That's the consciousness of your ego. And the houses represent the where in your birth chart. So that'll tell you what area helps with feeding that ego that you might have. And then the sign will let you know what are the themes around this ego that you have. It'll give you more description on the type. So for this next series, I want to go through the sun through all 12 houses and let you know where your ego is, what is your ego consciousness, and what is feeding it. So stick with me. If you have the sun in the first house, well, let's talk about how you shine. My God, do you shine? The first house deals with your physical body. It is literally what everybody sees about you right away. And it also deals with your appearance and like your sense of self, right? So having the sun here lets me know that you are someone who shines bright no matter where you are. Your physical presence is felt very easily because wherever the sun goes, it shines a light. So when you walk into a room, wherever you might be, you bring light and happiness and optimism and confidence to where you are. The sun in the first house also lets me know that you are a confident person for the most part. Now, of course, there can be aspects to the sun that can, dampen this. And then you might have something like, you might have the sun in a sun sign, like, let's say, I was going to say Capricorn, but maybe Virgo, or something that kind of dims the sun a little bit and makes it a little bit more modest. But regardless, you are still seen. You can't miss you. Can't miss you. When the sun in the first house comes around, everyone notices you, everyone sees you. You would have this very bright personality, this very bright way of being. You would always also be someone who is fit, someone who is kind of confident in who they are. And again, there are aspects that can change this, but normally when the sun is in the first house, like, you don't have any issue with letting yourself be seen. This is a very natural placement for the sun. The sun is exalted in Aries, and Aries is associated with the first house, so it's all tying together very well for you. And I think that the sun in the first house lets it be known that you are supposed to put yourself out there and you're supposed to be seen by others. Now, what feeds your ego is the fact that you do get attention wherever you go and people notice you, and so you become very accustomed to that, and you become very you kind of build your self-worth on that, because the sun does deal with self-worth. It's association with Leo, and Leo is about, self-love and the love of self. So all those things kind of correlate together. You can kind of think of this placement as think of all the children's cartoons that we watched, right? And how every cartoon had a role that it played. So for example, the person that came to mind, I don't really know why she came to mind, but we're just gonna go with it. The person who came to mind is Phoebe from Hey Arnold. I'm not aging myself right now. It's very possible that I am. But Phoebe was known as the smart girl. She was known as the person who was smart. And that is what she prided herself on. And whenever she did something wrong or it didn't go the way that she first saw it to go, she would unfortunately have little breakdowns because her ego was based on this identity that she was known for, which was being the smart person. And I love how with her in particular, her best friend was Helga, and Helga was this person who was known to be mean and have a lot of anger issues and just not the most attractive, or not necessarily in physical, but just in how people related to her, because Phoebe kind of got to live through Helga with that aggression, and she was able to keep her cool, calm, and collected, smart, calculated persona. So thinking about it in that sense, when your sun's in the first house, whatever you base your ego on, it's usually based on what is popular about you, what everybody sees you as, and you just kind of melt into that identity for yourself. The ego is very important to our survival. You need to have an understanding of who you are and how you fit in certain situations, and talents are, where your creativity lies, like all of those things you need. You know what I mean? You do need your ego. But my encouragement to someone with sun in the first would be to lean more on the things that you know about yourself authentically versus the things that you've been told about yourself from the outside world. Things that people tell you that they enjoy and like about you, things that deal with more of your physical. Lean more into the things that you know about yourself, the things that feel authentic to you. So whether that's creativity, whether that is, innate talents that you have, and you'll be able to see what those things are just based on the sign. So if you have, let's say you have sun in the first and your sun, you are a Gemini sun, I would lean into your ability to communicate as something that you base your ego on, that you base your confidence on, versus how people react to what you say and when you say it and how you say it. You know what I mean? If your sun is in, let's go with Pisces. Let's say you have a Pisces sun in the first house. Then that one is really interesting. You want to lean more on your talent and more of your connection to God and how that comes through in a spiritual sense and in a creative sense, versus how people receive you and making them feel better about it. Like instead of people pleasing for other people or trying to save other people, being that person that everybody can count on to take care of them and to save them from themselves. You want to focus more on the talents that God gave you so that you can save yourself. If you have sun in, let's say, sun in Capricorn in the first house, you would want to focus more on your determination and your consistency and the things that you like about yourself that have attributed to the contributions or the accomplishments that you have, versus other people, because with Capricorn, they're going to see your accomplishments. They're going to see your authority. But I would encourage you to base your ego and your confidence on how you got there and the tenacity that you have to get there versus the end result. So my overall message and encouragement is let your confidence be built on something that is very authentic to you, that you see the results of, that you know personally, versus the results and what everybody else finds beautiful and popular or attractive about you. Make it more personal to who you are, because with the sun being in the first house, it's very easy for them to just get caught up in being well liked amongst the world instead of focusing on what it is that they like and then bringing that to the world. I hope that makes sense. Please make sure you subscribe and like this video, share it with someone who you know has sun in the first. And if you have sun in the first, write down in the comments below what sign it's in, and let's talk about what that might mean for you. I'll see you guys in the next one. Sun in the second. Here we go. Have a good one. Bye-bye.